Brace yourself, it's Jake's Makes. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the Wiha Speedy. A couple of months ago, I had an email from the Wiha Pro Club asking if I'd like to be part of the membership. It seemed a bit too good to be true. After doing a bit of research, I realised that the Wiha Speedy retails, depending on the package, from around 200 upwards. And membership was around £90 including VAT. Well, I did a bit of research and I thought, it seems legit, I'll give it a go. A couple of weeks later, my welcome package arrived. I received my Speedy. I received a Wiha mug.
Tasty.
And of course, I received this nifty t-shirt.
Only losers say nifty.
So I've been using the Speedy for the last 2 to 3 months, and in this video I'll be describing my experience with it so you can make an informed decision on whether it's worth spending the money on this tool. So let's talk about the technical information and any issues that I've experienced. And I know you've got 2 questions that you're dying to find out the answers to. 1, is this tool any good? And 2, is a chair made out of cable comfortable? It's not. It's not at all. So the Speedy, it's got a bit of weight behind it. It's 1.33 kilograms, so that's heavier than your normal screwdriver, of course. It takes Wiha slim bits. Now these are rated for 3.8 Newton meters. You can get a variety of options and they fit in quite snugly and they stay in quite nice. There's a little bit of movement, both forward and backwards and also side to side. I'll go into that a little bit later. I've read a few other people's reviews to hear what they think, and one of the things that has happened to previous people is there is a little O-ring inside here that causes a nice snug fit. So, and people have said that this has actually come out sometimes. Personally, it hasn't happened to me. I don't see how it could happen, really, unless you put anything you shouldn't have down there. If you have a bit in at all times, no dust is going to get in, so it's going to definitely make your tool last a lot longer. Now to operate the Speedy, the switch is here. You turn it clockwise to obviously go clockwise, and anti-clockwise to go anti-clockwise. This is quite easy to use, especially when you're holding the screwdriver at any sort of angle. You're just using the thumb and the index finger. Pretty simple to use. However, I have noticed a major issue with this. Sometimes the switch gets stuck. This can be a bit annoying and is definitely something we need to look into sorting out. When you operate the switch, an LED comes on. Although this LED is just a single LED, it's quite bright and does the job of illuminating any sort of dark area, corner, crevice that you might get to. The Speedy comes with 2 1500 mAh batteries. To change, all you need to do is twist off the end and the battery pops out like that. Now I've been using this battery for the past 2 weeks. Now what I did notice happen was after the first, I think 4 or 5 days, the LED light flashes. It flashes when your battery is low. But I've continued to use it. I have noticed a bit of reduction in torque. It doesn't seem to have as much power. However, if you drain the battery, you tend to make the batteries last a bit longer. The fact that this tool comes with 2 batteries, you can always keep one on charge at home during the day and swap them out. And this will easily last a day. Even if you were using it constantly, I'd say a couple of days, no problem. The Speedy's torque is rated at 0.4 Newton meters. According to Wiha, the motor automatically shuts off after 0.4 Newton meters in order to protect not only the motor but the material that you're working on as well. Now, there's been a lot of complaints. I've seen a lot of bad reviews online with people saying it's just not got the right torque for what they need it for. And I get that, it makes sense. But I don't think you should be thinking about using this electric screwdriver to completely tighten up your terminals. This is more of an intermediate help in the middle. We've all come across it before. You get to a back box and the faceplate screw is ridiculously long. This makes it a breeze.
And of course, it frees up an extra hand, which means you can practice your ping pong skills.
So one of the problems I've found with this tool is the slop. As you can see, there's a little bit of slop in side to side and back and forth. Back and forth isn't too bad, but side to side it can be a slight bit annoying. Because this tool hasn't really got a huge amount of torque, you have to take over manually. And if you've got a bit of slop, it takes a little bit away from the feedback of the tool when you're turning, and for me it just doesn't feel right. So let's do a quick test and find out how much play it's got. So as you can see, I've set the Speedy up in the vise and I've attached a cable tie that's going to give us some indication on what the difference in the degrees when we turn the tool. As you can see, it's got a little bit of slop there and the motor locks in if you take it too far. So let's find out just how much slop that is.
Just a slight forewarning, I'm not actually sure that slop is an actual word. I may have made it up. I can't find any definition, but I'm hoping to make it a thing, and if you could start using it in your daily lives, that would be great. Thanks.
So here we have the camera lined up with the centre of the shaft, and we're going to use this protractor to find out exactly how much slop it's got. So if I line this up, and I'll just tilt it to so it's roughly at 90, and if I hold that steady,
You can see that it's going up to about 108, 109. So we can tell that there's a 20-degree amount of movement that's occurring within this tool.
So the Speedy has 0.4 Newton meters of torque, which is enough to do faceplate screws, etc, etc. I can clearly apply some pressure and easily stop the tool. Now, this is the low battery, and this is the full battery. I can clearly tell that it's got a bit more torque. Now, seeing as the torque is such a big issue, we're going to do a little test just to see how much it really has. So to find the torque of a motor, we have to use the formula torque is equal to force times distance. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the motor and we're going to attach some string to the shaft. And at the bottom of the string, we're going to have a weight. Now what's going to happen, as the shaft of the motor rotates, it's going to pull the string and the string will start to wind around the shaft. Now as this winding continues, the string that holds the weight will move further this way, which will therefore increase the distance. When the force is equal to the torque of the motor, the tool will stop. At that point, measure the distance. Let me take that figure. Now, the distance that we need to measure is actually the radius of the figure that we got. All we'll do is take the diameter and divide it by 2. Now, force is equal to mass times acceleration. The mass is whatever we choose to put on the end of the string, and the acceleration is going to be 9.81 meters per second due to Earth's gravity. Gravity, whatever that is. So once we've taken this measurement, we should be able to work out the torque. And obviously, this is a laboratory, so whether or not this actually gives us any accurate results, we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to perform this test 5 times and then take the average. And I'm also going to do it on the full battery that I know is 100% and the battery that I've been using for the past couple of weeks. Now, Wiha states that the LED light should flash when it's on 20%, and the battery that I've been using constantly does flash, but it does it occasionally. It's not constant. So whether that means that the battery has reached 20% and has gone below it, or is yet to get there, I don't know. So to measure the torque, I'm going to need a few items. I've got a vise to hold the Speedy in place. Now for the string, I'm an electrician, so of course it would make sense to use some thin copper wire. I think that will do just nicely. And for the weights, well, of course, I'm an electrician, so it makes sense to use some thicker copper wire. Hopefully that's enough. I'm going to need the calipers as well to measure the diameter. And also some scales, so we know exactly how much the copper wire weighs.
Now I need to find a way of keeping the copper wire on the slim bit, so I'll get 2 nuts and I drill and tap holes in them.
Oh, if only I had another Speedy. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to use this normal screwdriver. So I haven't really worked out a rough figure of how much string or copper wire I need. So I'm just going to set this on the bench and cut this off as low as the floor goes. Maybe a bit more so I can wrap it around the bigger copper. So we have this all set up and we're ready to go. Currently the full battery's in the Speedy, so let's give it a go. I think we're going to need some more weight. Okay, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Although I've got plenty of copper, I've got this steel plate that's actually got a bit of weight behind it. Hopefully the copper string is going to be able to support its weight. I don't know if I've got any other string if it doesn't. Seems like it should. So this is all set up now. I don't even know if it's going to lift this, it's quite heavy. Ooh. I think that's just what we want. Ooh, it's struggling. Great. So now let's check out what the diameter is. $11.53. $12.85.
It was at this point that I realised the string wasn't really that long enough and the diameter wasn't getting big enough. So I wrapped some more copper around the shaft so you can see the weight is actually a lot lower when I'm measuring this time. But it's still giving the same sort of effect.
One thing I noticed is that as we did the fourth and fifth test, it seemed to struggle a bit more, and also the motor's heated up quite a bit. Probably not the best idea to run this screwdriver on full torque. So now I'm going to swap the battery out for the dead battery.
I'll also perform the test 5 times again.
So now to measure the weight. I massively underestimated how much weight it was going to take, and I bought a pair of small scales, but they're just not going to do the job. So I'm going to use these instead. So with the weight, I'm 92.7 kilograms. Without the weight, I'm 91.4 kilograms. Wish the gyms were open. Now, because the formula requires it to be in meters, we'll just change our figures. So we've got 0.01234 times 1.3 times 9.81. And for the 20%, we've got 0.01012 times 1.3 times 9.81. So for the 100%, after we round it up, it works out to be 0.16 Newton meters. And for the 20%, that equals 0.13 Newton meters.
And here we have an idiot. Yes, that's right. Although he's already previously explained how he was going to work out the maths in this video, he completely forgot. And he forgot that he was measuring the radius and not the diameter. So he was supposed to divide his measurement by 2, but he never. What an idiot.
The figures are quite low than what we were hoping for, but I'm not surprised. My experimental method isn't brilliant. But one thing that this does show is that reduced battery definitely reduces the torque. So I've been using this tool for the past 2 to 3 months, and I found it pretty useful. It can make your job easier if you have a long faceplate screw, or if a socket or faceplate is out of reach. The torque obviously reduces alongside the battery, so my recommendation is to keep one battery on charge at all times and then swap them out every 1 to 2 days. Then you're not going to be losing any torque. Would I have bought this before I was offered it on the Wiha Pro Club? Probably not. It's an expensive tool, and to be honest, I've never even heard of it. I probably wouldn't have considered it. But after using it, it has genuinely made my life a lot easier. One of the main downsides, and this goes for all interchangeable screwdrivers, is you tend to need quite a few different types of heads. So keeping them in your pocket isn't the best solution. I know that you can get cases and pouches, so there's definitely options there to carry your slim bits around and be a bit more organised. Would I recommend this tool to you, the viewer? No, absolutely not. Why? This is actually an old model. The Wiha Speedy 2 is going to be released later this year. I've already pre-ordered mine from Wiha. It's about £180, and they've already addressed some of the issues that people have found with this tool. They've increased the torque, and they've also got a torque setting, so you can choose whether to keep it at the 0.4 Newton meters or increase it to 1 Newton meter. 1 Newton meter! Oh my God! That's 2.5 times the power of this. So all those people that are, oh, I don't like it, it hasn't got enough power. Well, your prayers have been answered. So guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm Jake's Makes. This is my channel. If you'd like to hit subscribe down below, that would really help me out. I don't plan on doing too many reviews in my future videos. This channel is mainly going to be about me making stuff. However, I thought this would be a good opportunity to get in front of the camera and start making some good content. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for the next video. I'm going to be showing you how to make an attachment for your Speedy, and that attachment is a portable soap dispenser. Yes, you heard it first. You heard it here first. A portable soap dispenser that you can attach to your Wiha Speedy. I mean, look at, you know the times. Look at my hair. Look how long it is. We're in lockdown. This is important stuff. You've got to listen. You've got to wash your hands. It's a portable soap dispenser all day long. Jake's Make. Subscribe now. Go, go, go.